Hello. So I had this really interesting experience once. It was a cold January day. I was trying to live out my New Year's resolutions of meeting new people, making new friends, and trying to be a little bit more involved in my community. Then I got an unexpected invite from this woman. So we'll get back to that. Right now, I wanted to say welcome. Today is day 2 of the Talking to the Camera in 30-Day Challenge. The goal for today, day 2, was a little bit of an odd one for me. It asked me to discuss a book or article that I've read. Even though I read books, this was a little bit of a challenge for me because I tend to take away concepts from books that I read, especially if they are nonfiction, which is what I would be wanting to talk to you about, such as The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, um, The Courage to be Disliked, Buy Yourself the Damn Flowers, and other books along that um, way of thinking and self-improvement, etc. But unfortunately, I don't really take extensive notes where I can be like, yes, when I was reading Tam Core's book, this is what really stood out to me. When I was reading The Courage to be Disliked, which I'm blanking on the author name, this is what I really liked. This is what I took away. And same with The Power of Now. I cannot tell you what was in each of those books, what specifically they covered, but I could tell you who I am as a person now because I read those books. So, anyways, this got me into like a little bit of like this Carfunkel, Simon and Garfunkel, whatever. If you know the word that I'm saying, put it in the comments below. I would appreciate you. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll just keep mispronouncing it forever and try to make it a point to add it into each of these videos. Anyways, so I was like, well, how am I going to discuss this? This is supposed to be kind of like non-serious. Like the point of this challenge is for me to be comfortable talking about a varied amount of things on camera and to get myself comfortable again. But discussing a book or an article, that was going to require a lot of work, a lot of research, and I did not feel comfortable doing that. I was postponing. It's 5:30 p.m. right now in my time zone. I want to upload this the same day. Not that that's difficult, but like I was just like, well, shit. What am I going to cover? But then I remembered that there was this one book or a story about a book, and that's where our story picks up. So on this cold January evening, I put on my rain jacket, put on my coat, or I grabbed my coat, I grabbed my umbrella because it was also raining, and I went to go meet, let's call her Emily, at the coffee shop. She was talking to me about how she also loved manifesting and developing herself. And I was so excited because I had a friend that, or a potential friend that I could talk to those things about in the area. I pictured us like making vision boards together. I pictured us like encouraging each other. And so I was excited and we ordered our drinks. I sat down with her and we're talking about like what she's doing. And then she starts telling me about her mentors. And then she starts telling me about her mentors, about how me and her can talk about this, but it would be really great if I could talk to her mentors who are further along than she is. And started telling me about all of these amazing things that they did, asking if I'd ever even heard of people who did those types of things. And obviously, I have heard about people who have done those types of things. I'm friends with people who are successful. But I let her keep talking and I wanted her to feel good. So I was just like, yeah, sure. Um, Tell me more about these wonderful mentors who are so unlike all other human beings in existence. Please tell me. And so she just like told me about them, and I was like, cool, like how did you meet them? Oh, well, I met them kind of like how you and I are meeting right now. Oh, really? Like you just like ran into them at work and now you're here getting coffee? Like that's so cool. I'm glad there's like a network of everybody. And that you have such strong mentors in your life. And she was like, yeah, they really helped me, and I'm not a millionaire yet, but I know that I will be at one point because of all of the things that they taught me. Like, and I'm like, cool, I am really proud of you. You're going to be a millionaire. Maybe one day. You're nowhere near there yet, but you will be. So that's not like an exact number, right? Like, we're not talking compound interest that you can like easily determine. So, like, okay. And I also don't really care about getting mentoring for money. Like, we are here to like talk about our ideas and like what we want to pursue. So if that's what you want to pursue is money, that's cool. But that's not necessarily my goal in life. But that's cool. Congratulations. Can we stop talking about your mentors now? And then she just keeps talking, and she's like, my mentors, they don't really take on new people, but I can talk to them for you because you and I have been having really good conversation. I was like, oh, well, thank you. I really don't want to be doing this. This is weird. Thank you so much. I think it would be great to build that community. Are they local? Well, they're not exactly local, but some of them live in Atlanta, and I still see them all the time. My birthday is next week, and they're paying for me to go out and visit them. I'm like, cool, 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 cool. That's amazing that you have such a good network. And like, still, like in the back of my head, I'm just like, I really was looking for local engagement. What is all of this? And she just keeps talking and about all these things. I'm just also thinking like, these people are probably in their 40s at the youngest. They sound old. I don't want to be a part of this. This seems so weird. And then she's like, well, would you like me to reach out to them for you? She's like, yeah, sure, why not? I can't guarantee that I can meet up with them, but sure. And she's like, great. So, in order for my mentors to meet with you, you do have to answer 3 questions. They're not going to be like super invasive, and I think you'll do well based off of what we've been talking about so far and kind of where you align. But I'm going to ask you anyways, and I'm going to record you if that's okay. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, like, this is really weird. Like, I think I might be kind of into a friendship like this, but like, at the same time, it just seems a little bit off. But fuck it. I don't know. You're weird. I'm weird. Maybe we're just both weird together. Let's go. So she asked me these 3 questions, like about where I want my life to go, what my goals are for my life, and who I am as a person, like questions like that. I can't remember them specifically, and I really wish that I could. Anyway, she just like sits there and gives me like very like not that great of feedback about them. She's like, yes, I think that those answers are good. And I'm just like, oh, can we engage with them? You literally just recorded me. And she's just like, all right, well, let me talk to my mentors. It is kind of late, so I don't know if they'll respond tonight, but I'll give you an answer tomorrow. I'm like, okay, great. Do you want to hang out outside of your mentors? And she's like, I don't know. We'll see. I'm like, oh, okay. So the next day at work, she texts me and she's like, hey, Ashton, I just wanted to let you know that my mentor said that they are interested in taking on a new person right now, which is great because they typically are so full that they don't have room for new students. But They really like what I said about you, and I put in a good word for you personally, and you are so lucky to get to work with these mentors. Now, I can set up a meeting for us to meet up with them in 2 weeks' time, and by then, I need you to read The Business of the 21st Century by Robert Toru Kiyosaki, and they're going to ask you questions about it, and I'll give you a worksheet so that way you can fill it out. And they're going to ask you these questions about it. I was like, okay, um, yeah, you can go ahead and set up the meeting. ... Question mark. Anyways, so I start reading the book and I hate it. It goes so much against a lot of the things that I feel are relevant to right now. It is very, very biased against people who are in poverty. It's also very male centric and does not speak to the woman's experience. And I also think that he's redundant, which you do need to have a little bit of repetitiveness in this book, but not the way he did it. And I'm starting to think this guy is a quack, and I don't believe that people are actually reading this book and they're thinking that it's so great to build this like weird mentorship program over. So I'm going to look up this book. I want to look up if there are other stories about people being approached in a similar fashion, because I didn't know what's going on right now. I did my like research on Reddit, and turns out this is definitely the pyramid scheme and cult that I thought that it was. I was going to be like selling products. And by the way, the girl, Emily, she didn't tell me what she was doing to make money because I knew her occupation. And she was telling me that, or I don't know, it kind of seemed like she wasn't doing stocks either, which, girl, Emily, if you're still out there and you're not brainwashed anymore, like, girl. Anyways, I don't know why I'm like pointing over here. Like, anyways, so yeah, definitely a cult, and like it's all about like these like weird different levels of like mentorships. And I saw that it was like a lot of like big meetings, and you had to like pay to get into these meetings, kind of like a Tony Robbins thing. And promising to turn your life around and being amazing, and how at the end they're like pitching you on all these things that you have to sell. And I'm just like, yikes. So is this thing for your birthday? Like, girl, is that even for you, or are you just about to spend like a bunch of money to go spend your money on information that you get here, and how community is important? And maybe I should have joined the cult. I actually thought about it. I was like, I want to see how like far this goes. And I was like, but that little caveat of like having to sell stuff, even though she kept saying like it's not that bad, you don't have to like really sell. I'm like, no, I really do though. Like, I hate this. And then I was like, hey, you're gonna have to cancel it because that's just not really for me right now. And she was like, and I was like, I don't really have time for that. And she's like, oh, is it because you weren't able to finish the book? I'm like, no, I read the book. She's like, wow, really, already? You read it in 4 days? I'm like, yes, I'm smart, thanks. I can read a trash book in like 4 days, it's fine. And anyways, it was so awkward seeing her like every single day after that. Like, I'm just like, this girl, like, she doesn't even know. And she was telling me how she would like want to marry somebody who was in this, and like she would only consider marriage with that because she has to like look out for her future family. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like a full indoctrination. Like, how long has this been going on? How much money have they gained? Because they're like, she was talking about like some guy like building schools in Africa or something, churches. I don't know. I don't care. And it's like, is the money all going to that, or like who is all the money going to? How much money have you put into this? how are you exactly supposed to get rich when you keep spending like an exuberant amount of money on all this crap and you have so much crap that you're trying to sell? Like, you're not even selling me on your cult, and I'm so bored right now that I might join one. I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, that is me talking about a book that I read, The Business of the 21st Century by Kiyosaki. Read at your own risk and let me know if you have had any experiences with this cult. Or if you'd like to join, I bet I could get you in contact with this girl. Just kidding. I would not give you personal information. Thoughts and prayers.